a comparative analysis of Fallout video game series factions and alliances. Welcome to Vaulted Views, the podcast where we dissect the complex world of the Fallout video game series. Join us as we dive into the richly detailed gameplay, immersive storytelling, and intricately crafted factions that make each entry in the series a compelling experience. In this episode, we'll be conducting a comparative analysis of the various factions and alliances that dot the Fallout universe, exploring their motivations, values, and, of course, the implications of their actions on the world around them. To set the stage for our discussion, let's take a brief look at the larger universe of Fallout. Spanning decades, the series has given us multiple branching storylines, each building upon the previous iteration and shaping the fate of iconic characters, communities, and the world they inhabit. We'll be drawing from the trilogy's central narrative, as well as the various spin-offs and expansions, to compile a comprehensive picture of the complex web of alliances and rivalries that underpin the Fallout universe. By examining these relationships through the lens of political philosophy, social structures, and emotional drivers, we aim to reveal the deeper mechanisms that inform the choices of the game's main characters, the factions they join, and the world-shaping decisions they ultimately make. In our analysis, we'll draw parallels between the various factions, identifying common themes and observing how these entities respond to the pressures of the post-apocalyptic world. How do the Brotherhood of Steel and the Enclave compare in their militaristic ambitions, both in terms of their methods and their ideologies? How do the Incre's attempts to rebuild society mirror the ideals of the Minutemen, and what implications does this have for the future of the American Southwest? By focusing on the intricate dynamics between the factions, we can better understand the underlying fault lines of the Fallout universe and envision potential directions for the series' storytelling. Throughout our discussion, we'll engage with these complex themes and ideas, contextualizing its intricate narrative within the broader context of science fiction and role-playing games. You see, the Fallout series is renowned for its richly detailed world building, and no aspect of that is more notable than the complex tapestry of factions and alliances that crisscross the post-apocalyptic landscape. From the remnants of pre-war society to the mutated creatures and tribal factions that have risen from the ashes, the Fallout universe is a veritable melting pot of ideologies, philosophies, and interests. Take, for instance, the Brotherhood of Steel, that technologically savvy sect that sees itself as the sole guardians of the lost knowledge and technological prowess of the pre-war world. On the surface, they seem like a rational and noble endeavor, but scratch beneath the armor and you'll find a zealotry that brooks no dissent and a rigid dogma that views the world in stark black and white terms. Then, of course, there are the factions that embody the opposite end of the spectrum, like the Raiders, who see the world as a lawless playground where the strong survive and the weak perish. The Raiders' brand of brutal individualism has its appeal, but it's a philosophy that often delves into mindless savagery and tribal infighting. Now, let's not forget the more nuanced factions that delve into the gray areas in between. The Institute, that shadowy organization of synthetic humanoids, is a perfect example of a faction that operates with motives that are both understandable and diabolical. Their push for synthetic human rights and their work towards a potential cure for the irradiated wasteland are admirable on the surface, but beneath the surface lies a complex web of desire for control and identity that raises questions about what it means to be human. As we delve into the world of Fallout's factions and alliances, we'll explore these kinds of philosophical and practical conundrums that make the series so eerily fascinating.